Alright, so I'm starting off this tutorial just to show you guys how to set up Android and Switch so you can have EmuMMC alongside it and use a Switch like normal, and you're not limited to a very small FAT32 partition size. Now, you will need the following requirements. I'm just going to list them down here. So your requirements will be pzip or something that can open image files. And before that, you will need Linux. Now, don't go ahead and use YSL through Windows or anything. You need proper Linux. Next, you will need the 16GB Android image for the Switch. You'll need to use Open Gaps for Google Apps. You will also need Hecate NYX, and that should be about it, I'm sure. And if you want to root, these are optional. If you want to root it, you'll need Magiskman. Oh, and we'll also be doing the L3/R3 fix zip. Now let's get started on this. Oh, one last thing. Requirements: format SD card to GPT. Now, the reason you want to format it to GPT and not keep it as MBR, because MBR is limited to 4 partitions. We need way more than 4 partitions here. As you can see, this is our partition map right here. So I'm just going to move everything. This is my partition map. Now, you guys don't need to leave this unallocated space. This is for a 256GB SD card, in which I can use 232. Now, this unallocated space is for some other testing I will be doing just to get some other stuff working. You guys don't need to have that. You can literally take this space, move it to here, and calculate all of this yourself. Because I've calculated, I will need to make a FAT32 partition in this exact size in MIB, and then I will be leaving the following space after. Anyways, now getting back to this. Oh, and this resize thing is, after we flash the user data partition, I can resize it so we can have a larger user data partition for Android. So getting started with this, you are going to need to open up this image.gz that you download from XDA, and then you will get this. Now you want to go ahead and get this, and you want to open it with pzip. Now once you have pzip, you want to go ahead and take all of these partition images, and you want to throw them into here. Now you'll have this. So once this is done, you want to go ahead, go into gparted, select your device, then you want to go to partition, no, device, create partition table, and you want to create a GPT partition, which I've already done. Now you want to go ahead and start creating your partitions. So this is going to be my first partition, and this is going to be FAT32. And this is important. You want to name these partitions accordingly. So host data, host data. Otherwise, when you try and boot Android, it won't work. So yeah, that's about right. And next we're going to create a new one. Now we're not going to name these right away because we're going to need to flash these first. So this partition, even though it says 1126.4, I'm going to do 1127. Now the reason is because gparted can't do a point. Like, I can press point, it's not going to work, so I'd rather just have that. So go ahead and create these partitions real quick. So 2, 2, 5, 2, 5, 3. No, that's not the one. New, unformatted, 2, 2, 5, 3. So I gone ahead and create that, and then the next one would be a new unformatted 70 MIB, and then follows the same. Unformatted 70 MB, and then a new unformatted 30 MB, and then a new formatted 8807 MB. Now, after you've done this, do not create your EmuMMC partition just yet, because if you want to resize your user data partition and have more space than that, you're gonna need to follow through on this. Now, this bit I will cut out, and I'm just gonna skip it from here, I guess, to where it's complete. Alright, so now that's complete. You wanna go ahead and close that. Anyways, once this is done, just close it. We don't need to go back to that for a while. So now, this is the following command you wanna do if you've followed through on my partition layout. Sudo fdisk -l, this is sudo fdisk list, and down here we will have our SD card, as you can see with the partition table we have set out. Now, instead of doing long commands and everything, I'm going to do a single command that will do this all in order for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and go into my switch setup folder and then the Android folder. Now I can't really see this because my screen brightness, so I should probably put that up. Yeah. There we go, that is a lot more visible. I wonder how I had it that. Okay, so the command you want to do is sudo dd if, well, you know what, I'm just going to write the command out here because it is going to be pretty long. Sudo dd if equals, now the first one we're doing is vendor.image. Then you want to do bs equal 512m of equal /dev/sdc2. Now, don't copy this command and use it exactly as is, because SDC2 might be a different drive on your computer and whatnot. I'm not responsible if you nuke your drive just because you copied this exact command. You want to replace dev/sdc2 with this, whatever you get for your SD card. And if you follow through on the partition layout, this command will also be in order of flashing vendor to that partition, system to that partition, boot to the first 70 MB, recovery, device tree bridge, and then user data. So now that I've cleared that up, I'm gonna go ahead and do this. Status equal progress, and then I'm gonna do and then I'm gonna go ahead and put a space, and I'm gonna copy this, and then I'm gonna copy this and this and this. Now you can ask why I'm doing this so many times over, and if I'm a madman, no I'm not. Now the reason I'm doing this is because I'm too lazy to type out this command multiple times. If this confuses you, I can understand why it would confuse anyone. So this is the vendor image one, then we have the system image one, and that's going to be SDC3. Now if you've done this in the right order, you won't need to worry about any of this. If you're doing the right partition or not, if you followed through my partition scheme, well, not in size wise, but the way that partition table is laid out, you'll be fine doing this way. So status equal progress, boot, then we're going to do the recovery image, and that's going to be on SDC5. And then after that we will be doing the device tree bridge, and that will be on SDC6. And then we will be doing the user data, and that will be on SDC7. So I'm just gonna write that SDC7, and then I'm gonna go ahead and use this command. Now I'm just gonna double check SDC2 status equal progress, that's vendor image and sudo system image. Okay, yeah, this command is completely fine. Now I'm gonna leave that to run because that is going to do all of the different things. Anyways, skip cut from here until this is done. If you've been following my tutorial and you've ended up getting an error where it couldn't write enough bytes for the user data partition, we're gonna go ahead and quickly fix that. And so you wanna load up gparted. I had a small crash for a second, I think. Yeah, go ahead and open up gparted. Jesus, what the hell is going on with this system? I think I've just got way too much stuff open at one go. Yeah, I'm just gonna quickly free up some memory. Anyways, not sure why it's doing that. Why is it doing that? Well, this is a very readable graph. Well done, KDE. Alright, so the issue was I converted the exact user data file in bytes to MIB, and we actually needed 8,815. We were on 8,808, which is nowhere near enough space for this file to actually be flashed to that partition. So I'm gonna go ahead and quickly fix that. Yeah, this is the drive, and yeah, I had to remount my SD card, so it's showing as dev SD now. Just continue following along with this tutorial and you should be fine. 815, just gonna make sure that's right. 815, yes, and we want to make that unformatted. And we're gonna quickly go ahead to click apply, and while that's doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and Jesus. Yeah, so cd and then, because I'm not gonna wait for that to do this whole refresh thing, I'm gonna go ahead and list up our drives, and then we're gonna go ahead and flash this to SDE7 user data image, and that is perfect. We now have that fixed. I'm probably gonna comment this in while I'm talking and doing the actual setup myself, so yeah, this is still gonna be a part of the video, just to show not everything goes smoothly for everyone. There is still things that mess up. Alright, I'm gonna do a jump cut again, so yeah. Alright, so finally got that sorted. So yeah, alright, getting on with the tutorial now. So now that all of this has been done, it's all good. So now before we do this, we're gonna have to use gdisk. Now this is going to be creating the hybrid MBR partition. Please look at everything I'm doing and use the options exactly as I use them. Alright, so gdisk, and then you're going to do your device, and make sure you run this as sudo. Okay, so first you want to use P to list your partitions. Now the ones we will be making into a hybrid MBR is these files right here. So just one. For now we're just going to do one. So we're going to enter R, recovery/transformation mode. Then we're going to do H. And then we're going to do 1. It's going to ask you, place EFI GPT in first MBR partition good for grub. You say no. Then you put EE for this. Then you put no for this. And you put no for this. And then you do O, and this is what you should have. You should have the first sector to 2047 sector as partition number 2. You don't want that ahead of that. Now once this has been done, you want to use W for write, and you want to proceed. Alright, now that is Android nearly set up. Now here's the important bit that I was talking about. You need to appropriately name all of these. Now it's not the normal E2 label command and etc. I've tried those, it doesn't work. You need to use gparted to do this. So you want to go ahead, launch gparted, and we'll get ahead with this. Any day now, Jesus Christ. Okay, so SDE. Now, as you can see, it's been labeled vendor and system, but you need the name of the actual partition to be changed. So we're going to change this. We're going to name it to vendor. Press OK. Then you're going to name this system. Next, oops, system. Name partition, you want to name this boot. Name partition recovery device tree bridge DTB, and you want to name this USERDATA. Next we're going to expand this, so we're going to resize/move this to 16384 MIB. So 16384 MIB. And you want to go ahead and resize that. And you want to click apply, apply. So this is just setting partition names. It shouldn't take a long time. It should be rather straightforward and simple. So let it do its thing. Now allow it to do all of this. Then close. Now once this is done, just to confirm everything, because this method is going to take long, I'd rather just do this. Now that is 16 gigabytes. Next we're going to do sudo gdisk again, we're going to do PR, and then we're going to do O. Now as you can see, the MBR partition scheme has been rewritten. So what you want to do is you want to do R again, sorry, H 1 N E E N N O W Y, and then that's it. Alright, so here's the next bit you want to do. You want to go ahead and open up your file manager, and now you want to open up host data, but I'll provide these configs instead. So I've pre-done all of this, and so the config I will be using, if I can find it, so yeah, so you want to copy over Hecate and etc to your SD card, and I'll provide the config for it down below. Is this the one? Yep, it is the one. Now you want your Hecate IPO to look. I'll provide the Hecate IPO. You don't need this. This is not needed. You just want these. And to get the core boot, I'll provide this config and the core, not the core boot, but yeah. Anyways, so I'm gonna go ahead and remount my SD card and close gparted, otherwise it will not let me manage any of that. So go ahead and remount that. So you should now have user data, and that should be an accessible partition. If it's not accessible, if any of these are not accessible, you've done something wrong. So host data. Now we're gonna go ahead and go to where we extracted our ISO image files, and we're gonna go ahead and open it up with pzip again. Now once you have this open, you want to extract this, and you want to send this to host data and press OK. Now once you've got this done, you want to take Hecate and you want to place it on host data. So you want to paste Hecate and you want to write into there and press OK. Just going to press OK to all of that. Then rename, if you're using a mod chip, just rename this to payload.bin. And you should have your switch boot, your bootloader, and etc. I will provide my Hecate IPO, which just puts it in one menu, so you don't have to go to other configs and etc. It's all there, and it's got the EmuMMC stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste that in, and then the Android part is done. Now once your Android part is done, we're going to go ahead and copy over the rest of the stuff we need. So in this, we're going to need open gaps to install Google Apps. We're going to need the Joy-Con fix from the XDA forum on where you get this Android zip from, and the Magisk man for root. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that, and I'm going to put that in host data. So allow that to copy. Then I'm going to switch over to my phone, and I will show you doing the basic setup before you actually boot Android or do anything else. Now if you did this MBR stuff right and the gparted naming and etc., it will work. Now the reason you have to name it in gparted is because then TWRP just won't mount in it. The system and etc., it will not be mounted. And then the hybrid MBR stuff is because Hecate will not recognize, well, the switch won't recognize the GPT partition table, so you need an MBR partition on that GPT table. Thus, we are using hybrid MBR. Alright, so now that's done, gonna go ahead and safely remove all of these. And now time to go to the switch. That should be about it for the PC, and now show you the setup on the switch. To actually getting everything set up. So you want to go turn on your Hecate, turn on to Hecate, switch Android root, you want to select that, you want to hold power up. If you're holding, sorry, not power up, you want to hold volume up. And if you've done that right, it's going to do this. Now, it will prompt you about something else. You just want to swipe and allow. Now, you just want to tap because it does a bug. Now, this is why you named the partitions, because none of this would be able to mount without it. So you want to go ahead and mount all these partitions. And you want to remove that read-only one, because we're also going to do something else. So go back, you want to install, and then you want to go up a level, and you want to find external SD card, and you're going to have all of this. Now I'm going to go ahead and install Open Gaps first. So I'm gonna go ahead and add Magisk, and the Joy-Con fix. So I'm gonna queue all of these up, ready to go. Now, as you can see, I resized the internal storage. It's 16 gigabytes now. So it should say 3 out of 5. You want to swipe to confirm flash. One ended. Wrong architecture. Pre-bundled busy box. 64 stock. Okay, I'm not sure why it would do that. Oh, there we go. System wasn't mounted. So yeah. Now let's retry that. Really wants to take its time. So we're going to go ahead and swipe to allow. Now this was the old one, and now it's finally installing. Now that's why you want system mounted, otherwise it just won't. Now I'm going to pause while this completes, and then I'll resume there. Alright, so at this point it's done one file. We're going to go ahead and do Magisk. Gonna go ahead and allow that. It's gonna install Magisk. Another shaky hand video. Shaking intensifies. So yeah, let it install Magisk. Now once you've installed Magisk, you wanna install the Joy-Con fix. And that's it. You're set to go to Android now, and I'll just show Android boots and works real quick. So I'm going to pause it, and well, I might as well just show you how to get to Android. Now you could just reboot to system, but I'd rather cleanly reboot. Damn you, autofocus. So yeah, just quickly let this boot. Now the first boot is going to take a while, so I'm just going to pause it here. Alright, so Android is booted. I was stuck on a black screen, but I just rebooted and it was all fine. So if you get stuck on a black screen, reboot and you should all be fine. Yeah, I also had to change place. So you want to go ahead and start that. I'm just going to skip this. Continue, I'll set all of this up later. Next. Oh, okay, you don't really care. No, I don't want any of these on. Don't want it to send usage data. More. There we go. Kind of hard to get this right for a phone screen. The shaky hand video. Okay, so I'm gonna just do that. Next. Okay, if it does any of this, just ignore these things for now. And just press start. There we go. Now the initial boot is gonna be slow initially using it. Just use it for a bit, restart, and then this should be good. Yep, it's all working. Not sure if Magiskman installed. Doesn't look like it did. I'll have to reflash Magiskman and etc. just to make sure all of that is up and running. Oh. Yeah, Magiskman installed. Just double checking Magisk. And it's all good. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I'm not going to bother doing any of that. But anyways, that's it. Alright, now I'm going to start the next part in which we actually set up EmuMMC. And this should be the last part of this tutorial. Just gonna go ahead and set that. You're going to see all of these, just don't touch any of that. What you're interested in is host data, but we're not going to mount this for now anyways. So you want to open up gparted. And you want to have terminal ready as well. So have your terminal ready, have gparted ready, and you should be all good to go. Now we're back at SDC. Okay, so now the next part for EmuMMC is we want to create a partition. Now for EmuMMC it's about 29.1 gig, so we're going to give it about 30.9 gig. Just to make sure we don't screw up anything. So So we're going to use about 30.1. Convert, that's how much we're going to need, and we're going to make a new partition 30823. So 30823. Now once you've done this, you should have, alright, so once you've done that, you should have this format to FAT32. There we go. And as for this unallocated part, just if you mapped out your partition table right, you can either extend that into user data for the Android, or you can have it as your general. So I guided you guys through setting this up for that. So this for me is just to experiment later with some other stuff to get L4T Ubuntu booting alongside all of this. But anyways, enough of that. So once you have that, you want to go ahead and click apply. So it's going to do that one operation. Close that. Now you want to do sudo fdisk -l, and you should have that 30.1 gig part. Now here's where you really have to pay attention, because the flags we're going to put, so the flags we're going to put from gdisk is very important. So go ahead and type sudo gdisk / your drive, so mine is dev/sde partitions. Okay, we have the 30 gig at the end, and this code bit is going to be important, so we're going to go ahead and press that, and then we're going to press this. Now as you can see, our MBR table has been blanked again, and we have code EE. So we need to fix this, because that's not going to work. So we're going to go ahead and type in P and then H, and then we're going to select number 1 and number 8. Now the reason I select number 1 and 8 is 1 is host data. Now that's where you're going to have all your general stuff, your FAT32 partition for all your like homebrew and etc. And then you need to add the EmuMMC partition to the MBR. So do 1 and 8, press enter, and then it's going to ask you this. You're going to press no to that. Then for the first partition, this is very important. You pay attention to this bit here. You want to set this to EE. Okay. You don't want it bootable. And now here's the crucial bit. The EmuMMC one is not going to be EE, it's going to be E0. So go ahead and type E0. Set bootable, no, and no. And then when you do this, you're going to have this where you see the FAT32 one first as EE, then your EmuMMC as E0, and then the grub boot sector all the way at the end of the table. So you want to go ahead and write that, and you want to press yes. Now that's completed. That's all good. Do not touch the 30 gigabyte file system, because obviously, why would you? It's your EmuMMC. Alright, so next bit, you now want to set up, oh god, no, no, don't do that. And it unmarried itself. Let's fix that quick. So open host data, and now you want to add atmosphere. So now this is work of Series M. It's the default switch CFW, and you want to go ahead and open that. System handler will deal with that, and you will have this. Now you want to go ahead and extract this out to host data, and you want to press OK. Now that this is done, you should have this. Now this is where you'll need my IPL config, because this will have all of this. So you'll have the switch root, Android, the EmuMMC, and stock for firmware 7 and above. This is not for 4.0 and etc. and below. So if you're running 4.00 and below, there will be a different config. You just remove FSS0 and that's it. So close that, and that's that for this bit. So you just want to go ahead and you want to safely remove. Now I'm going to jump cut back over to recording the actual switch and showing the EmuMMC set of stuff. So back to the switch, we're going to go ahead and turn it on, and if you're using Hecate NYX, you will have the EmuMMC option, and you will see in this that this says nothing. Now you should have it at this sector here, and this is the important bit why we set the codes. Now when you select this, if you didn't set the codes right, it's going to try and write to, so say if you put that grab partition answer to yes, this part 2 would be part 0 and part 0 would be part 1, and it would try and write to your general FAT32 partition. So you want to make sure it says type E0 and you want to press continue. Now let it just do that, and once it's done, I'll resume the video. Alright, so EmuMMC has finished writing, and we're going to go ahead and let it. So that's done. I'm going to go ahead and launch. We're going to go ahead and launch EmuMMC just to make sure all of that is working. Alright, so it's all working, EmuMMC is fine. And just to make sure it didn't mess up anything to do with the FAT32 partition. Okay, so looks like we're all fine. We've got Android, we've got EmuMMC, so that's it for the video. Anyways, if this video helped you, just give it a like. And you can follow me on Twitter. I'll leave my Twitter in the description below. Anyways, thanks. I hope this video has been useful to you.